constitutional conservative organization in East Texas and one of the largest in the state of Texas. I'm also the two-term chair of the Texas Legislature's Tea Party Caucus Advisory Committee, so I spend quite a bit of time in this building. So today we're going to address the border crisis. Welcome to Texas. We live in a sanctuary state. We were a sanctuary state before we had the humanitarian crisis that's crossing the border right now. And why do we have a sanctuary state? Because our state officials haven't taken care of business to protect the people of Texas. So I'm going to put a little substance behind that, and I'm going to tell you that what we have going on in Texas and across the United States is the de facto commandeering of state and local assets by the federal government. They're not asking, they're not alerting the state and local governments. They are simply barging in and ordering people around. And quite frankly, in most cases, they aren't even giving a notice. I heard a governor today say that she heard, by virtue of a rumor, that a busload of immigrants who were here illegally were being deposited in her state. I will tell you this, that the United States Constitution prohibits the commandeering of state and local assets that belong to we the people, unless the federal government has declared war or a time of national emergency. And I will tell you, they have declared neither. I cross this state speaking to people, average, ordinary, everyday men and women who make the state of Texas work. They're simply trying to do a job to put food on the table for their families and to survive. And I will tell you, there's a growing sense of shock and disappointment in those people of Texas, and here's why. Because they already know they can't believe anything that comes out of Washington, D.C. Right? We already get that. We can't believe that. There are too many things going on today that are a shock to the White House. So we can't believe anything that comes out of Washington, D.C., and I could probably count on one hand the number of federal officials that when they tell me something, I believe it. So what's worse than that is that the people of Texas have this growing sense, maybe we can't count on our state officials to take care of us and protect us either. In June of 2011, the Tea Parties of Texas sent a letter signed by thousands of Texans to Governor Rick Perry. This was a time when, in the 82nd legislative session, they had failed to pass a ban on sanctuary cities. We had a meeting with Governor Perry. We met in his office. We explained to Governor Perry that this is an issue of safety and security. It's not an issue of race. It's an issue of safety and security. And if you don't believe that, I'd invite you to read two very important reports. They weren't written by the Tea Parties of Texas. They weren't written by Joanne Fleming. They are written by the Department of Public Safety. There is a 2013 threat assessment on the Department of Public Safety's website. Easy to find. Also easy to find are elected officials who've never read it. Here's the 2014 game assessment. It came out in April. I submit to you that these two documents are all you need to know that we need to have a ban on sanctuary cities, counties, whatever in the state of Texas. We need a ban. And why is that? We need a ban because we need to make sure that law enforcement has the full support of our state officials to do their job. To do what? To uphold the rule of law. They need to be able to protect us because I submit to you that nobody can prove that everybody coming over that border is coming here for a nice, safe, wonderful life. Okay? I would defy anybody to prove that to us. That you can tell us and assure us that everybody coming across the border has no ill intent. I will bring up another pretty important person, and that is Major Kelly of the Southern Command. Major General Kelly of the Southern Command. He has been before Congress and he's told them the open southern border is a direct and immediate threat to the security of the United States of America. Okay, so the Tea Parties didn't say it. DPS is telling you we've got a threat. And I would ask you, please read these documents. Please take the time to read these two reports, because when you read these reports, if you're like me, your brain will be screaming to you, how did we get here? How did we get here in the state of Texas where there are sophisticated networks of some of the most dangerous cartels in the world, with sophisticated networks set up all over Texas and working with transnational gangs in the state of Texas? How did we get here? That was in place long before this latest border crisis. It is a minimum expectation that the people of Texas have, that the folks that serve our state, who take an oath of office to protect and defend the United States Constitution and the Constitution of Texas, their main job is to protect the life, liberty, and property of the people of Texas, period. And I submit to you, with the sanctuary state, we're not safe. I'm going to yield to my friends here, but I'm going to tell you that we have had conversations, numerous conversations with constitutional authorities. And I had a conversation with my own congressman, Congressman Louis Duncan. And we have all reached the conclusion that Governor Perry needs to stop asking Washington to come save us. Washington is not on its way to save us.
That's right.
That's right.
We're asking Governor Perry and Attorney General Greg Abbott to invoke, to work together to invoke Article 1, Section 10, Clause 3 of the United States Constitution, that gives states rights to declare an imminent danger. To declare an imminent danger. And when you're finished hearing from some of these folks here, healthcare professionals from the border, you will understand that there is, we already have an abundance of evidence that we have imminent danger. Okay? So one of the frustrations is that for some reason, some people are focused on what represents 20% of the problem. The children. Now I'm going to say this right now. Those are horrible circumstances. And for those small children, it's heartbreaking. But you know, the federal government calls a child somewhere up to like 17 or 18 years old. And I have friends in law enforcement that are on the border who tell me that they have people that are portraying themselves to be 15, 14, 15 years old that, by the way, are much older than that. Okay? So we're not talking about the cute little kids in diapers. We're talking about older children, and we're talking about 80% of the problem coming across the border, and those are adults who are breaking the law. We can't afford this. Texas can't afford it. The United States of America cannot afford it. We're asking Governor Perry and Attorney General Abbott to invoke this section of the Constitution and to call up the National Guard and the Texas military as defined by the state constitution, and to fund it. There are people in this building that have all sorts of grand ideas about how to spend down the rainy day fund. Let's use it for safety and security. Now, yeah, it's raining.
It's pouring.
Okay, now, I'm going to introduce, and then they will tell you anything else that they want you to know about them. I have got Jim Gibson is going to lead us off. He is the spokesperson for the Texas Border Volunteers. We have Katrina Pearson, Garland Tea Party, and a member of the Tea Party Caucus Advisory Committee. We have with us Dr. Margarita De La Garza Graham, a medical doctor from Tyler, Texas, and a good friend of mine. Heidi Teese is a member of the Clear Lake Tea Party Steering Committee. She's also a League City, Texas councilwoman. We have Maria Espinoza Lane with the Remembrance Project that focuses on the victims of violent crime perpetrated by illegals. We have Larry Corkmas, who is the leader of Tea Fire. Ray Myers with the Kaufman Tea Party, Mike Openshaw, North Texas Tea Party. We have Ms. Alice Lonahan, Women on the Wall, and Ken Emanuelson with the Dallas Tea Party, and Grassroots Texans Network will round us off. But my parting words to you is, if you have not read these documents, I beg you to pay attention to what your Department of Public Safety is telling you. Thank you so much. Jim Gibson.
Thank you, Joanne. I serve on the executive committee for the Texas Border Volunteers, Inc. We're a volunteer group based down in Brooks County, Texas.
Can you go to the podium?
Yeah, Jim, you can go to the podium.
Now the ones on the podium.
No one that says don't touch.